So, of course, the country is still divided. Donald Trump won. And I want to talk about immigration a little bit again because, a lot of people who did not vote for him are not crazy about his immigration policy as far as wanting to tackle this real problem that we have and do mass deportations. I mean, I want to understand what is it that people are looking for? People who do not like Donald Trump's outlook on immigration.
And now shifting focus to the southern border with Mexico, where hundreds of migrants are abandoning their journey towards the United States. The caravan, which began earlier this week with around 3,000 migrants, has now dwindled to just half after Donald Trump won re-election.
We wanted to get to the United States. Now that Trump won, we do not know what to do. May it be God's will, since we are taking this course, that we have to arrive, even if it is to knock on the door, to see if they open it for us. I don't know what to do anymore, because we left a very terrible regime. Returning to Venezuela is like being shot in the head.
Donald Trump doesn't like Latinos. Donald Trump said he was going to remove all Latinos from the United States, a massive deportation. So now it's going to be harder to get in. There are going to be new laws, new regulations, new rules, and now it's going to be harder for us Latinos to get there.
In his winning speech, the president.
So I wanted to stop there, So I want to take a step back and kind of look at some numbers, right? So a lot of people don't know, or maybe they know and just don't want to embrace the fact that Barack Obama actually deported a lot more people than Donald Trump did. So looking at the numbers, Barack Obama during his first term, fiscal year 2009 through 2012, he deported 3 million people. Now, this includes people who are in the country illegally. It includes people who are caught at the border. And then his second term, fiscal year 2013 through 2016, he deported 2 million people. So about a little over 5 million people he deported in his whole 8-year presidency in the two terms. Now, Donald Trump, in the first 4 years, he deported a little under 2 million. It looks like from what I'm seeing. And, I say all that to say that I'm trying to understand how people want immigration to work. Like as I watched that young father and his daughter and carrying his daughter on his shoulders, trying to escape Venezuela and the regime that they got away from. Like I feel that, you know what I'm saying? Like I have kids. I mean, if I was in a horrible country and a horrible regime where I felt like I was going to die, I would try to escape too. I understand. It's not that there's no empathy, but the question is, how should immigration work in America and in relation to any other country? Because, we have places all over the world that are sometimes uninhabitable because of war, because of whatever, you know what I'm saying? Corrupt regimes, because of militias, because of civil war. And we have people that have to flee. And, typically in those situations, people end up in, you know, refugee camps. You know what I'm saying? They usually don't go into the neighboring countries and just go and live there and are able to, get asylum and a new life and subsidized ways of helping them build a new life by the millions. Yeah, maybe smaller groups that happens, but I don't know of any situation where it'll be millions of people going into a country. And one of the things people have to take a look at is that why do we have immigration? The reason why we have immigration is that if you let 5 million, 10 million of anyone from one country go into another country, what that naturally does, it disrupts the lives of the people who live in the country who is being immigrated to. I mean, there's no way around that. So, you know, I don't have all the answers as far as what should be done as far as, you know, the migrants fleeing from Venezuela and some of the other South American countries. But we have to say to ourselves, as Americans, can we absorb that many people, subsidize them, and still try to build our country and take care of our citizens? I just don't understand what people want to happen.
Elect reiterated his commitment to seal the borders, insisting that only legal immigration would be allowed. The president-elect's plan could further impose limitations on Biden-era programs like humanitarian parole and temporary protected status that temporarily allow some migrants to remain in the United States.
We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason.
For migrants who use social media platforms like Telegram to track the U.S. immigration policies, the election outcome has dampened their hopes severely. Several expressed frustration, with some saying that had there been a woman president like Claudia Sheinbaum, their lives would take a different trajectory.
I wanted them to elect a woman in the United States elections just as we did here. That way they would have seen eye to eye, because Mr. Trump is arbitrary, misogynist, racist.
Again, Barack Obama deported 5 million people. So why is it when Barack Obama was deporting people, why was he not racist? So essentially what this woman is saying is that, well, if we had elected Kamala Harris, a female president, is the expectation that as a female president, she's supposed to continue to allow illegal immigration into the country. She's supposed to continue. I don't think any president should be doing that. Male or female, man or woman, shouldn't just be allowing. And for whatever reason, the narrative has become that because you want to follow the law and tighten up the law in your country, somehow we are racist. I don't know what people want. I don't know anywhere in the world. I'm trying to think of any other country that just allows people to come into their country by the millions and just live. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying, again, that there shouldn't be something done to try to help people. But again, people have to decide, how do you expect it to work? How does the immigration system supposed to work, just in general? So without calling people racist and all that, if we have a law set up, how do we follow the law in our country? You know what I'm saying? Because right now, if 5 million people from Africa decide to get on planes, no, forget 5 million. If 100,000 people from Africa, from the continent of Africa, decide to get on planes and land at JFK, they are not going to be able to just walk into New York and just start living their lives. You know what I'm saying? Immigration is not going to let them in, so again, and they could be coming from worse places than Venezuela. You understand?
Now, throughout the campaign, Donald Trump vowed to complete his border wall and deport millions of illegal immigrants. He's even promised to hire an additional 10,000 Border Patrol agents and impose tougher restrictions on asylum.
So in order to meet the goal of hiring 10,000 new agents, we need the agents. We need them badly. And keeping our incredible veteran agents on the force. Don't leave us.
A post-election YouGov survey shows that Donald Trump has the support of 53% of Americans on immigration matters, compared to just 45% for Vice President Kamala Harris. As of now, the reality for migrants remains uncertain as they weigh their next steps, with many deciding to give up on their chances of crossing into the United States.
Look at the election. There's a reason why he won the election. So Latinos in particular, he got a huge portion of the Latino vote. And I'm telling people that Latinos are also concerned about illegal immigration. The idea that all Latinos in America, as if deporting people is offensive to Latinos, is actually a very offensive thing to say to a Latino. The idea that Latinos all are for illegal immigration is really such an insult, in my opinion. And I think that you can see that by how people voted. Latinos who are here legally and went through what they had to go through and understand that they understand the basics just like anyone else, and black people as well. You can't just flood the country full of millions of people, subsidize some of their housing, and then people who actually live here don't have the resources that they need and are living through high inflation and so on. So at the end of the day, immigration is something that is not a black, white, or Latino issue. It's just an American issue. Again, sometimes people have to take a step back, look at other countries, and understand that every other country in the world has borders. Every other country in the world has immigration policy. If you go right now to another country, you're going to need two things. You're going to need your passport and you're going to get a visa. And the visa determines how long you stay. If you get a visa and you go stay somewhere past your visa and you don't have a reason to be in that country, they're going to get your ass out of that country. It doesn't make them racist. It doesn't make them mean. They have to have laws. Otherwise, you might as well not have borders. Everybody should just be able to be nomads and go into whatever country that you want. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. And if you are against the idea of deportation and tightening up border security, please let me know in the comments, how do you think immigration should work? Again, I don't have all the answers. I'm just giving my perspective. I love to know, how is it supposed to work? I want to understand. So, Crucial Combo.